You think you can try? Welcome. Why didn't you think of that? And why did you put it in a water bottle?
Because that was the most airtight thing I could find.
But it also needs moisture too.
And there was some water in there.
Oh, okay. So it probably gave it some moisture. But, yeah, so it's good that you did that. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the pencil. The pencil? Where's the trusty pencil? Ew, this looks fucking disgusting. You clean it. You don't give a fuck.
That's like every 3 times I'd have to clean it if I did it every year.
And you're like, hell no.
I don't got enough fucking napkins for that shit.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mildly Fatigued with Adam and Caleb.
You want to use the filler weed too?
Yeah, you can.
Well, that we could probably do both.
Just? This is all you have? That looks fucking disgusting.
I think it's just been roughed up.
But where's the other? That's it?
I guess so.
But didn't you have, like, another bottle? I thought you said, no? I thought you said you had another bottle or something. You might have left it in your van?
Maybe. I lose things a lot in that van. Oh yeah, Teresa gave me a fucking chocolate-flavored cigar.
The Swisher.
Your Swisher, yeah.
And you made me buy a Swisher.
No, that thing's tiny though. And I forgot about it.
You want a fat one? What?
I don't know how old this weed is. It's been like...
Go here for a troll. No, it's fine. Let me just pack all this weed.
Okay.
You don't need that bunk-ass weed. Anyways, welcome to Mildly Fatigued. What do you have this week, Adam?
Let's see.
Let me go through my reservoir.
Gummo was pretty fucking good.
Oh, yeah. What would you rate it? Just telling these viewers.
Say. I don't know. I don't like ratings. It's good. Watch it.
Does that type of story appeal to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't even that much of a story. It was more of... It reminded me more...
Atmosphere?
Yeah, it was almost documentary-esque.
Almost. That's how Harmony Korine is so good.
Other than that...
So I have a question. What's your... You know the number that always keeps appearing in your life?
Yeah.
What number is it?
404.
Okay. So you should do is that... Because Steven was telling me this. Is that he has something similar to that. And he decided, let me look up what 404 means in the Bible. So you should do that. Like, go on Google on your phone and type, like, 404 verse Bible. And then see what it says. Because what if it's, like, something fucking demonic or, like, angelic or, I don't know, something.
.404 Bible quote not found.
Or... I don't know how you would look it up, but like the 4th chapter or something, you know what I mean?
Psalm 44.
No, is it 40? No, you gotta find 404. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, what does it say?
Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, who does not look to the proud, to those who turn aside to false gods.
What does that mean to you? I don't know what to say.
Does not look to the proud. I have no fucking clue.
So it was useless. His exercise was useless. Because Steven was like, I learned so much, and like, he's like, the quote meant so much to me. And he's like, I don't know if you have a number like that, but you should do it. And I'm like, I don't, but Adam does. So, yeah, that's why I told you to. What are you looking at?
This thing was supposed to explain what it means, but it does not. It just has a link to hear it.
That went nowhere.
Yeah.
What if it says something inspirational? Like, would you have taken it?
Fuck it, I guess.
Like, but from the Bible?
It's
I know
applies.
anything that has religion on it burns your skin. Is that not true?
Fuck religion.
Lord, you fucking retards.
Teresa gave me something. Oh, that's where I put
it. What? She's like, Adam, I really think you need Jesus, or what?
No, her mother gave her a Bible, and in the Bible was 2 of these. She's like, fuck it, you want it?
Is she not very religious?
Nah. She tries to fucking tell me that, because I was not, or because people who aren't really raised without religion or just don't have that moral code. Those are part of the reasons that I getting fucking fed up with her.
Why? Because you don't, like, believe that, or what?
It's just like shots at my fucking personality.
Oh.
Like, I'm here to help you. Don't fucking diss me and shit. Like, oh, your mother spoiled you as a child, didn't she?
Dang.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
When was she saying that?
I think it was a couple weeks ago. She stopped bringing it up, but it's fucking stupid.
You didn't say anything?
No, I'm just trying to get through this.
Trying not to end myself.
What else was there?
Yeah, you got anything in your mind?
I started keeping a mood, like, tracker thing.
Like you write down your mood for the day or something?
Yeah.
And how's it been going?
Well, what sparked it was just the last couple days I've been super fucking antsy and, like, irritable.
Okay.
So I was keeping track of that. I was curious if it was because of the cigarettes, if I just hadn't smoked one in a bit. But even when I'd had like a cigarette and I smoked part of the cigar, I'm like, this isn't doing it for me.
I'm still fucking pissed. I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still feeling that way?
Not really. When I was antsy, it was like fucking foot juggling kind of shit.
Damn, this is hella sticky weed.
Oh, hell yeah.
I know, but look at it, I can't even, like, get it off. You're like, oh, even better.
Why didn't you use the grinder?
I gotta hand grind it, my guy. I don't know. I do actually hand grind it all the time.
What you got? I've been going out of my way to do the guitar every day, though, so.
How's that been going?
Decent. I just play the opening fucking verse to Blackbird, and then I do my own little thing for like 5 minutes.
Doing nothing. What I was gonna say is, you know the guitar Rust? You know how nutty people get? Have you seen people get nutty?
No.
You should look up a video. Just type in Rust guitar player, like really good or something. You know what I mean? Or like good. And then people play that super hard song on Guitar Hero. It's like dun 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 dun, and you'll see his head going everywhere because he's having to do it all. You know what I mean? Like God or something. Or, I don't know. Just someone who's insane. And this one might have been the one I watched too. Fast forward. Let's put this. Like the.
This kid's a god.
there's some people who are nutty. Like, they're like, and they're like going all over. Oh, and there's like a Rust.
Oh, I know. 1 second.
Like that.
Oh. This kid's beautiful.
And look at everyone respects it too, because everyone's like, damn, that's hard.
Nice.
No kidding. We need to get Bob on him right now. Get Bob on him. Get Bob on him right now.
Bob, alright, where's Gary Smart?
Me, Bob. We need to get Bob on it right now.
Steve.
This. Play whichever song you like the most.
Thank you very much.
I'm freaking
Do you want
like,
it?
just like,
Look for another one.
you know?
Okay. Come on in.
Take it.
Keep it on.
Because there's one. Oh, I think that's the one I watched. Yeah, that's the one I watched. He gets up out of watch, he spawns out of the water, yeah.
Oh, you came over the guitar.
Oh, it's the guitar clan. Shalom.
I can't even roll this. Cause
It's all about how you tune the guitar.
Okay. See ya.
It's all about how you tune it.
God damn.
Impressive. My friend here, he no bueno. You see, but you, my God, that was beautiful.
Vivo Devo should not be consumed while operating heavy machines.
Okay, watch before.
Setting, watching, collecting common side effects.
And keep playing the other songs. But like, people are like nutty like that.
Thank you, SC.
That's why you should start following the Rust. The Rust is actually kind of interesting right now.
Essence of a true gamer.
And like, do you know anything about Rust right now?
Mhm.
Yeah, they just have a lot of cool things.
Don't forget to hit
I know they got,
and
like,
subscribe
air
to
balloons.
let me know.
Huh?
I know they got air balloons now.
Yeah, and the airplanes and shit like that. And like, they're hard. They're not hard to fly, but like, you have to be talented to fly them. That makes sense. And so there's this one Rust YouTuber I watch, and like, how do I say? Like, they met a group of people, and so they had this friend that would just come in, and he would just come with his plane, drop a bunch of guns, and leave, and that's all he did. And he decided to take him on a plane ride, and he was like going under like buildings, and you've probably seen it before, the big Rust Bowl thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like he like flew on top of it and stuff like that, and it's just so funny.
Chukon. I saw General Sam, like, he was trying to get to a air balloon because he used to be an air balloon technician,
Okay.
and
Like
they
a
had-
real life one?
Hmm?
Real life air balloon technician?
Yeah. And he was saying, like, they took my art and just, like, dabbled it down to going in circles. He spent, like, fucking 2 days trying to get that air balloon, too. The one they did find, it was under, telephone wires, so it just would not fly. And they spent, like, the whole fucking day trying to get it to work.
Jeez. What was I gonna say? Yeah, just Rust is just so cool. And like, it's like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it's not like a stereotypical survival. I'm trying to think of another survival game. It's not like Minecraft. I guess it gives off the appearance of Minecraft because you can mine and do all these things and build, but it's not like you're trying to survive the night. It's very much you're just trying to raid other people's bases, and you're just kind of trying to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, there is no real point to Rust. Like, DayZ, I feel like there's this type of, like, the whole thing behind DayZ right now. I don't know if you watched the update, but it's at 1.0 right now. It's at 1.02. And the game is fucking insane. Like, you can load different guns with different bullets. The combat's way different. Like, usually, how do I say this? All the YouTubers I watch now, like the whole combat for the game is completely different. Usually you'll just kind of run in. You'll have the stereotypical. The stereotypical DayZ fights. These fights are way different because you'll have like a stereotypical DayZ fight, but then they won't keep going on. You know how DayZ fights can go on forever and more people come? Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen because when you run out of ammo, you have to single load your magazines. Make sense? So the combat isn't just like, oh, let's shoot everyone. It's like, oh, we have to be really specific on who we shoot, because if I can't load my magazine to load into my gun, someone with a freaking hatchet will kill me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see like some fights going on and like people retreat and like load their ammo and come back and stuff like that. So it's just like the fighting style is different, or it's more real life. What I'm saying is that's not how Rust is.
Rust is still like you can just pull a fucking shotgun out of your ass.
Yeah.
I still remember running around on Legacy Rust. Holy shit.
What do you mean? Like, what do you remember?
Specifically the hand cannon.
Oh, okay.
Every time I think of Legacy Rust, I think of the fucking hand cannon.
Why? Because you liked it or something?
It was just a funny weapon. Like
You had a single shot and it was like, dung, dung.
yeah, it was random how many hits it would take, and you just like be running around someone with a bow, and you go, dum, 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 and it fucking like just explode in front of you.
Yeah, you should watch the guy I watched. He's so good with the bow. He's like so nutty with the bow. And so like that's his main thing that he always uses. And yeah, he just interesting. He's a Rust player. And like his real thing is like he gets on a server and then he kind of just makes a story out of whatever happens on that server.
Mm-hmm.
And like for example, he'll find a squeaker and then he'll like the squeaker would be really nice and then he'll help him raid a base and give him all the loot. You know what I mean? Just in something like that.
Mm.
And he'll like make a story and he'll make it cool editing and stuff like that. And what was I mentioning? Oh yeah, he's just good with the bow and arrow. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't like the bow and arrow and the crossbows in that game. You know what I mean? Because you liked it in Gary's mod.
Yeah. Well, the reason I like the crossbow and Gary's mod was it was a one-shot kill, and the amount of movement speed in that game is like off the fucking roof.
Yeah.
So it's basically a game of like free-form dodgeball.
You gotta be skilled.
Yeah. And it always made it
Entertaining.
well, it got even more entertaining when you'd fight like a rocket launcher or shit like that.
And you just fucking one hit on?
Yeah. Well, it'd be like, I think it usually takes like one shot with a rocket launcher, I think. And they can target you, like track you and shit like that. So it was all about like just dodging your movement so that they blew it up in the wrong spot.
Dodging your own movement?
Yeah. And then you're trying to land that shot perfectly so that it lands or hits their body and kills them.
While the movement speed's going on.
Yeah. Because movement speed's what saves you.
The movement speeds. So it's their advantage and it's yours.
Yeah. So if I ever made like a first-person shooter, I'd make it like that. Just balls to the fucking wall movement and then like timing-based shooting.
Like, can you give me an example? Like, other than that, like, is there a game similar to it?
There's. It's kind of like Quake sort of fighting, but I'd want it to be
better.
I guess more fun for me. I guess.
Fuck everyone else.
It'd be like entirely based on projectiles instead of like, oh, you can have a laser beam or a assault rifle or rocket launcher.
So what other than like a crossbow, what would you have?
I'd probably change it to a rocket launcher, and then honestly, I'd probably make most of the customization go into like the movement of it.
What do you mean? How do you make custom movement? Very easily.
Oh shit, like you can just fucking stop in midair kind of stuff.
But only certain people can do that.
Yeah, like you'd have to unlock that. Or choose it as a skill or something like that. So that everyone's movement is varied, but it's not like everyone's pulling fucking backflips out of their ass.
What else do you have to talk about?
How goes movie stuff?
Still no lead actor. And I'm the dumbass. Let me tell you what happened today. That's what I was gonna tell you earlier. Is that I was supposed to meet with someone today. And I knew I was gonna meet with them today 10 a.m. You know what I mean? And it was like set in stone, they knew. And they didn't flake either. And I messaged the wrong person, like the address we're supposed to meet. Doesn't make sense. So the other guy I was supposed to meet today, I just told him like, yeah, I just said like, okay, yeah, we'll meet today. But then I didn't send in the address. And another person meeting tomorrow, I said the same thing, like, yeah, we'll meet today. And I sent him the address, like later on. What I'm trying to say is I didn't send the other guy the address, and then I thought I did. And so I came to pit stop, and I was waiting, and I'm like, oh, just call me. And then he sent me an email, or I looked at the email, or no, what happened? I don't know, but I just realized I fucked up, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. And he wanted to play the lead too. And there's people like from Irvine and San Diego who are coming to do this. It's kind of crazy, yeah. It's I put it a thing on Facebook, and like as soon as you tell people you have a feature, Jesus Christ. Like, come out of the bushes.
So you're still doing that car one, right?
Mm-hmm. And I started, okay, now you might, I started thinking, I can't even speak. I started to write down or think about different things that if I couldn't get certain scenes in the movie done and I needed to do alternate scenes. And then I started thinking about the scene in which he's in the car and then like a girl appears and then she's like dancing in slow motion. Does that make sense? And I don't know what can happen. But I'm saying like I'm thinking of little things that like that.
I just imagine a fucking slow motion like Fortnite dance.
And I imagine this very how do I say this? Very cute French woman. This is just how I envision it. And she's like wearing a dress, and then I'm trying to think of a movie you might know. I don't know, but there's one scene in Taxi Driver. Do you remember when he's just kind of walking in the streets and everything's slow motion? It's like a small scene. That's why I don't know. You probably didn't remember it. But Martin Scorsese always has slow motion scenes in his movies, and so I don't know. He just does them very well. And I'm like, that'd be interesting to put one in mine. Like, what could I do?
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought this girl was dancing in slow motion. Mm-hmm. And then also I was thinking, Alfred Hitchcock, he puts himself in his movies, and I'm like, how could I put myself in my own? And I'm like, that would be interesting for me to have like a small scene. And I was talking to this other person who's totally committed to the film. Like, out of everyone I've talked to, he's the only one I'm meeting with weekly who's sending me emails like every other day, like updating me on like his monologue or just something because he's acting in it.
Mm-hmm. And
so it's like him, I have the most respect out of everyone. And so I was talking to him and we were meeting, when was it, yesterday, and I was like, I think I could probably do like not a monologue, but I could do a small part. And then I just thought of a chess scene. I wanted a chess table, or like two people playing chess. And I'm like, oh, I could be doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I could be playing chess, and then I can be like smoking a blunt or a cigarette or something, and then I say like something pretentious or something. You know what I mean? Just something. And it's just my little cameo in the scene. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I told him, like, well, if I want to think of, like, something to write, or just think of anything, I'll talk to you. And he's like, okay. But to answer your question, yes, a lot of things are happening.
Hell yeah. You gonna use your car?
Yeah, don't leave his phone in my car.
You know where you're gonna do it yet?
I have everything planned, my guy.
Mm.
The only thing I'm just waiting on, I just need the lead actor. That's all I'm waiting on. I even started storyboarding. I think I told you this. I started storyboarding where I wrote. You know, storyboarding this. And I started storyboarding the whole thing, which is a pain, but it's important.
Yeah.
And then now I'm emailing, like, I went from like a crew to 5 to 10 to like 10 to 20. So it looks like there's a lot of people on board.
Mm-hmm. So the lead actor is the guy in the car, right?
But do you have a lighter outside? Or outside this bag?
I didn't believe so.
Of course, my luck is so good that I reached and it's the first thing I touch. What else? What do you think? I don't fucking know.
I'm thinking about going to the doctor and trying to get Adderall.
Why? So you can do work or something?
Yeah, just so I can focus.
Is that like... Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
You know, at work, it's like she'll spend 30 minutes telling me something, and by like 5 minutes in, I've fucking zoned out. I'm thinking about my own thing, just based off something she said, and then I gotta fucking clue myself back in 2 minutes later, figure out what the hell she was talking about.
I'm pulling out. Yeah, you could if you really think that would help. You can let me try, right?
Hell yeah.
You don't... How do I say this? You're not opposed to taking Adderall? You're not opposed to taking Adderall?
Not really.
So I haven't you taken it before?
Just because I have to go to the doctor specifically to get it.
So it was at the grocery store? You were just like, fuck it.
Huh?
If it was at the grocery store, you wouldn't care?
Oh, definitely.
Fucked way thinking about it. Is that capitalism speaking? I said, is that capitalism speaking?
For what?
Why you do that? Because it's ease of access?
Yeah.
You're like, that's it.
Basically. If it was easy to get, I'd get it. Yeah, people hooked on fucking Adderall instead of meth.
The same thing.
I was reading something about someone that, like, they got high off Adderall. And
oh yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah, if you take them out or certain enough or something like that.
it was like he took a bunch, and the high was pretty good, but the come down was just fucking awful. Like he just laid in bed in pain for like hours.
He's like, yeah, he himself. Yeah, prescription drugs are crazy. Don't you? Okay, that's another subject. Is like, don't you think it's crazy that mankind can make like we could make the strongest form of LSD or something like that, but then if we get the natural version, it's like, but what I'm trying to, I don't even know how to word this. That man-made we can get like like THC, we can get the plant and then make it concentrated. Does it make sense?
Mm.
Do you think that's crazy?
A little bit, yeah.
Because that's absolute nature manipulation, right?
I still think it's kind of crazy that like the existence of drugs is a thing.
That alters our brain and stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's just compounds out there that aren't technically part of our body, but when we
Make
use
us feel
them,
something.
yeah, they just wildly alter our consciousness.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
Has Ben Shapiro been doing anything lately? I haven't
Mm.
seen anything about him.
No. Like, as in, like, within the sphere of anything?
Yeah.
No. He kind of just does a show. That's why I don't think he does anything. It's just people make a big thing of him. Make sense?
Hmm.
He kind of just does his show. He does his talks.
One of my favorite forms of like memes is just Ben Shapiro on like fucking anime bodies and shit like that.
Yeah, that's so funny. Or they'll like get cocked kid or something, or like, and it's him, and he's like this.
Junkan. I'm surprised nobody makes fun of the fact that Jordan Peterson has like a Kermit voice. Like, I've heard nobody ever mention it.
I don't really see it, but I guess yeah, I could sort of see it then. Now that you mention it.
That's like the first thing I noticed about him.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like Jordan Peterson?
Oh yeah. He's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Any more things to talk about?
Let's talk about The Office.
What about just ideas?
Yeah. I think once we get The Office, we should go back to doing the midweek meetings, and then just on that day we go
I totally forgot we did those. Why did they stop? Because you're working or something?
I think so. So we just on those days we'd go in and we'd just write down as many topics as we can.
Oh yeah, that's the midweek meeting.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We chose a movie that week, and then we sort of just hung out and smoked it.
Yeah. And then we could also just watch the movie together in there.
Oh yeah.
What else is there? So are we doing video? Or are we
of
just sticking to
course.
voice?
No, because I want to do live streams. I think it'd be really fun to do it on Twitch and stuff like that.
Yeah. How would we, what would we film with?
I don't fucking know. Honest to God. My only thing is that I don't know. I'm not worried about it until we do it. You know what I mean? Because I have the general idea of how to do everything, but I don't know. Makes sense.
That's basically the only goal for my life right now, is get that office and start working on the podcast.
Because if we do that, we can make something. I'm just thinking, because I've been thinking about my movie a lot, and I haven't been thinking about the podcast. So, yeah, so I'm thinking about the podcast right now. I'm trying, because a lot of podcasts are coming up.
Damn, you know what would be cool?
What?
If we made it almost like a TV network sort of thing.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, we have people come in just every day to do something.
Different?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like a TV network podcast?
Yeah.
That'd just be a TV, or like your own show, basically.
I feel like that could separate us from other podcasts. Just constant stream of content.
Trying to think. I guess it's time to think about it. So what I was saying earlier is that there's a lot of podcasts starting. Like, for example, do you know Dom from Dude Dobrik?
Yeah.
And then you know Big Nick, the small guy?
Mm-hmm.
Big Nick, small guy. They started a podcast called Last Two Brain Cells. And I realized, like, when I watched their podcast, I'm like, damn, everyone's doing a podcast. Like, what now? Like, they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, everyone's doing a podcast. And so I was thinking, like, what? It just seems that because their personalities, that's why they're doing a podcast. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they have a following, and not because they have a type of personality. Like Dom has a personality, Big Nick. That's how they get their viewers. So not so much originality is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to think. What would we do? Hold up.
One of the things I've been kind of wanting to do is just...
Should I put this in the back?
Hmm?
Should I put it in the back? In the back.
not yet. Trying to think of what the actual content.
I don't even know.
Trying to think of what the actual content would be, but I just like the idea of like
Sketch.
maybe sketches, but just like some sort of jazzy, almost like a Mr. Rogers kind of feel, but with like jazz music in the background and shit like that.
Okay.
And then just like something happens between them. I don't know what the premise of it would be.
It could always just be the intro.
I
You know what I
guess.
mean? To do a Mr. Rogers knockoff or whatever.
Well, it wouldn't be like exactly Mr. Rogers. It'd be almost how late shows kind of do it.
No.
It's only a 1 minute talk show before, haven't I?
Oh, no. You told me that, but I haven't watched it. And then I watched another podcast in which is basically our Uber podcast. That it's called Podcasting on the Street. And they put a table, they have a laptop and everything, they just record it on the street. And then they just bring on anyone. They're like, we'll give you $1 to be on our podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where is it?
Just type it in.
It should be. Oh, there it is.
Are you looking?
Welcome to 1 Minute Morning News, and today we're going to be going over the emojis
It's
that
hella
kids are
high
using
quality.
and what they actually mean.
This one right here means let's bring eggplants to church.
And this emoji actually means
And I love this.
and this one means I'm experiencing heart failure and I need immediate help. And this one, and so hold this for a second. This actually means when you take your food. And this one, all you parents know what this means.
This one says let's eat a bunch of blue lines.
And this one's
That's not one of the better ones.
I get it. It's just like stupid sketches.
I like the format, but I think I'd want it to be less like memey.
Okay.
Welcome to this report of Tyler's Wacky Weather Report. You guys remember that movie Kalub Chance of Meatballs? It's actually happening right now, except all the food is completely uncooked. It's raw. It's just in its natural forms. It's just falling from the sky. We've actually heard that
it was
live too. It's consuming.
It said raw,
food,
and they
children.
replaced all the meat with like Minecraft meat items.
Uncooked, yeah.
Running
And it
rampant
said
throughout the cities,
none.
and
What did you say?
They're consuming white.
Fuck it,
But I get the
back out.
joke, yeah.
So all you Jake Paulers out there, stay wary. I'm worried about you.
What I get? They're just kind of memey 1 minute talk shows.
Yeah.
Welcome to this report of Tyler's Wacky Weather Report. You guys remember that movie Kalub Chance of Meatballs? It's actually happening right now, except all the food is completely uncooked. It's raw. It's just in its natural forms. It's just falling from the sky.
It was the non-GMO stickers.
Yeah, it's not going down. Here, where's the lighter? Where the fuck did I put the lighter? Oh, I put it here. Now this piece sucks.
I kind of liked it, and then it got wet immediately. Don't know. Can you think of anything else you'd want to do?
For what?
The podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Like having.
Well, because I that's what I'm thinking. Is that we're kind of practicing for a normal podcast, and it's not very interesting.
You dropped.
So I'm trying to find a better idea, or something. Or I'm trying to think of a better idea. You know what I mean? And I just can't think of anything.
Maybe we might just have to like watch just a shit ton of podcasts and see what.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to that either. Just looking at it and seeing which, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see what we can do better.
Because I have this idea for it's a live and a pre-recorded, and you sort of had that idea too. But mine was that podcast, or mine was that protest sort of, or you know what I mean? Not the protest, but in which I would go up to people in public and ask about politics. And I'm thinking about like, how can I put that in a different version or something? You know what I mean?
Mm.
And we could have like a skitty podcast, podcast, that makes sense.
Mm.
In which that's why it's very vague. But like we talk about interesting topics, and then it goes into the pre-recorded. And I'm thinking like, the pre-recorded is like Andre Johnson or Andre, what's his name?
Eric Andre?
Eric Andre type pre-recorded, and then it'd cut to that, and we're like, okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and it'd be back to live. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But it would be, the pre-recorded clip would be like 20-30 minutes every like week or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so that's kind of the idea I have.
I'd say we should maybe, instead of just 20 minutes of Like if like cutting away from the podcast, we could cut it up and then just layer it through the thing. So maybe anytime the conversation slows down, we'll bring it up or something like that.
Maybe.
What do you call it?
I like our movie podcast because other people do it. Or I looked up at other film podcasts and they're all like lame. You know what I mean? I don't know, and I don't know. For the film podcast, ideally, I think that's like the one I'm gonna try hard on, and I just had this idea of like doing the film every week. Then we talk about and then do what we do, where we talk about just other film writing stuff in general, story time, you know, and stuff. And then I had this idea of having the film every week and running in the background. And then I had this idea that every week I would write a critical analysis of the movie. Does it make sense? So it's not just like me saying my opinions, it's like a legitimate thing. Because I just like the idea of me being someone who makes films and then writes about films. You know what I mean? So I guess the podcast will help facilitate it.
So the writing would be on its own, or part of the podcast kind of thing?
No, it would be part of the podcast, but it'd be on my own for myself. You know what I mean? In which I release it publicly. You know what I mean?
So you release it on the podcast?
Well, it would be like here's a link to my full critical analysis of the movie, and it'd be in the description. And that it's just as simple as that. And like we'd mentioned it, like, hey, if you guys want a more detailed opinion of it, but it wouldn't be anything that's. It'd just be a simple thing that is added to my podcast. You know what I mean?
We could have for things like you know how we do like, so overall, what do you think about the movie, sort of stuff?
Yeah.
We could put a podium up on like the table. And just like alright, get up on the fucking podium and then turn the camera towards it.
Okay.
And then they just get up there and
they say the number?
Yeah, like read it off or something like that.
Wait, what do you mean they read it off?
Like politician style. Just fucking, there's a microphone right here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
No, we should put a bunch of microphones and have flashing lights.
We can make it so most of them are just very obviously paper, and then there's one like mic in the middle.
Yeah, real. But then then adding like fake lights, so it's like flashing, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I give it an 8 out of 10, and then he just joins us back at the podcast table.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to do that kind of stuff for the podcast. Just
I like that for my film podcast. Because then you could just have them like right when they come in. Because I like the idea of like, okay, Caleb, this is our podcast day. Like we have it 2 days a week or 1 day a week or something like that. And then I'm just there 12 hours. You know what I mean? And I do it like for 2 days a week. And I just like the idea of that. And where was I going with this? Oh, and I like the idea of like coming in and I'm there like in the morning by myself or whatever. And then like they come in and we hang out before we record. You know what I mean? And so it's like then we could record stuff like that before we even get started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be live. Oh, fuck. Dropping it over.
We could do a pre-show podcast where they get to watch us fucking like come in and get everything ready.
Pre-show podcast?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, I assume we'd have to bring someone down and then start in another room before the podcast to get conversation sort of going.
No, because I assume anyone we're going to invite isn't going to be a complete stranger. At some point, like, the person we're going to invite, we've at least had a handful of phone calls or we've met them in person. Does it make sense? Because it's not going to be a stranger that we're going to have to meet at that time.
Well, even still, it'd be like, if we just start the podcast, then the conversation sort of has to ramp up. But if we start it beforehand, ramp it up, and then start the podcast.
So this pre-podcast, oh, fuck, it's out. What is that?
it'd just be like, we go into the room, or maybe, well, the main thing would be like, we bring the guests into the room and we start to get it like, or we start like just talking about bullshit until we can.
Oh. We have high quality mics all around the room. Okay. They come in and we just record everything unedited. Period. Then we just start talking. This is actually a cool podcast idea. Even if this is like the first legitimate time, like say we've met them in person and we, you know what I mean? It's sometimes, but what I'm saying, this is like the first time we have to, all unedited. It's all live, all recorded, and then, right, we bring the topics, right, then we sit down wherever our office is, we start talking, right, but not the podcast yet, we're just talking as friends, still recorded, still live, huh? Then we keep talking as if the podcast has started. How's your guys' day? Are you excited to do the podcast? You know what I mean? Just start the podcast. Then when, say, a conversation, it's like, so do you like Trump? We're like, wait, let's move into the podcast room. Does it make sense? Then all the cameras cut or whatever. Because I imagine everybody, the cameras like in the corner of the rooms and shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like recording, it's cutting to different like cameras in the room. And everyone knows it's recorded because that's like the thing of our show.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I dropped it. They come in. They freaking we get them. We get to know them. They're like, wait, let's go move to the other room. And then we move to the actual podcast. They're like, okay, well, welcome to our podcast. Then we start the actual podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah. I imagine it like the fly on the wall in the corners of the room, and then it goes like Joe Rogan style. You know what I mean? After like an hour or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why, so we'd have people hired to be in like another room to edit all the cameras and control the microphones and stuff.
For the like transition, would it be natural or would it be more scripted?
Not scripted, just I'm thinking on episode 300, when our podcast is established and Angelina Jolie is on the podcast. You know what I mean? So she knows that, like, this is the style of the podcast. It would be literally like, okay, you guys ready to move into let's move this conversation to the podcast room now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It would be just as abrupt as that at any point. You know what I mean? Because that's everyone knows that we start as this fly on the wall and then we move to the actual podcast.
Just do it just like really aggressively, just out of nowhere.
No, yeah, exactly.
Let's go to the other room.
Or it's just, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? It could even be, we can make it a cartoon, you know what I mean? Just say, like, not a cartoon, but say, we can make it fictional. Say, we have, like, a character come in, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, like, I just imagine someone dressed in a lobster costume, and he just comes in, and he scares them into the podcast room, and they just run into the podcast room, and the podcast starts, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
But, like, you know what I mean? It just starts on that fly on the wall, and then it moves to the actual podcast.
Hell yeah.
We'd have to have a building like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has, like, a building. But now he's a multi-millionaire. He said after he did Fear Factor, he just had so much money, he didn't know what to do. Like, imagine being at that point. You know what I mean? He went from, like, having no money to, like, I don't know what to do with all this money.
Damn.
And then he just started making more money from there. Or not even that. Then he kept doing stand-up, and then he got his stand-up career going.
I didn't even really recognize that he was the guy from Fear Factor until I think someone told me.
Oh, I didn't think so either. Or I didn't even watch Fear Factor that much.
Well, I didn't watch it either, but I knew
watched
of it.
American Idol and American Ninja. Which ones did you watch? Me, I watched some years. Did you watch any of those?
No.
Any of those reality competition shows?
Not really. I
None.
just sort of...
Not even like the Disney Channel ones.
No, fuck those. Those
no,
ones are gross.
But none, not a single one.
Not really. I'd watch American Idol with my parents every once in a while, but that was like
rarely.
Yeah. Mostly I just Comedy Central, MTV, and then like Cartoon Network, and that was it.
Smart kid. Okay, that's all you. I'm done.
And I didn't even really watch the TV. I just put it on in the background.
With that being said, we've hit the hour mark. So we can end whenever you like. So I want to talk about the movie. Come on. Don't fuck you guys, go to the other podcast.
Okay, well, what I was thinking of, we'll go to the other podcast, so
okay,
let's just end it.
Oh, right now? Okay. This is mildly fatigued with Adam and Caleb. We're extremely fatigued right now.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next week. Speaking of that, God, I'm so behind. I'm uploading like every other day and I can't catch up. Like, I can't catch up because I'm that behind. It's so bad. Anyways, we'll see you guys some fucking point at this, honestly.
God damn.
Bye, you guys. Last words?
See ya. I don't know how people get these joints so fucking hot that they can, like, I forget who they call it. It's like Wu-Tanging it. Okay. Have you seen that?
No.
They breathe in so hard that and then they just let it go at some point. It just evaporates into smoke into their mouth.
No, yeah, and they swallow it. The blunt, the last of it.
Oh yeah, I guess they swallow it.
Yeah,
but
you didn't think they swallowed it?
I don't remember.
No, yeah, they had hit it as hard as they can, and then because I assumed that they were just fucking scorching their fucking everything, that just swallowing that, it just I just imagine a big flaming tube and sorry, did I spit?
Yeah.
And then just a little thing just through the middle of it so that you can't even feel shit.
Yeah. I don't know how people do this shit.
That's all. I'll just throw it outside.
Yeah.
And so that's it?
Yep.
Okay, we're signing off. See you guys on story time.
Hell yeah.
Bye bye.